Hey guys, it's Doc from the Gold Hog, and today I'm excited because we're going to introduce our new Gold Hog Viper to you. So let me explain the Viper real quick, and let me explain this video. The Viper really fills a niche in our product line that we haven't had for a long time, which is a traditional Highbanker. We've got the Mini, which is a real small portable unit. We've got the Gold Hog stacking unit, which can run as a dredge, a Highbanker, and a super concentrator. We've got the Monster Hog, which is the highest production unit on the market, I think, in my opinion. But we don't have a traditional Highbanker. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to steal some of the sort of concepts and ideas from our other product lines and merge them into this Highbanker. And what ended up happening is we sort of took the Monster and reduced it down into a traditional Highbanker size. Now, this video I'm going to show you, it's kind of a mixture of different testings. It's sort of like late prototype models, just pre-production models, but I wanted to show it to you and show you some of the stuff and testing that we've done to develop this. Now, it's more of a, like I said, it's more of a traditional style Highbanker. It can be set up and run by one person, but at the same time it can handle a ton of material. I would say easily at 3 tons of material an hour, totally unclassified. But the whole premise of this product is like everything else we do, which is you run, if you want to get more gold, you have to run more dirt. So we don't want you to classify it, we don't want you to touch it, we just want you to pour it, dump it, and go, and have a very high capture rate. I'm going to show you some of the extreme testing that we're doing, and the gold that we're using on this is extremely fine, very, very flat, gold from all over the world. So I'm going to piece this video together. I'm going to try and keep it moving kind of quick. I'm not going to show you very in-depth details about setup and all that kind of stuff. I'm just going to show you the product running and some of the testing that we did. I'm going to run it as a Highbanker. I'm going to let someone run it as a dredge. I'm going to let them run it as a dredge and a Highbanker in combination. I'll show you a few of the features about it, but I'm real excited about this Viper unit. Like I said, it fills sort of a niche that we've been missing for a while, which is more of a traditional Highbanker. One of the things, before we go to this video though, I did want to address, and I think a big thing that a lot of prospectors deal with is confidence in their equipment. And I wanted to make sure that when we put this piece of equipment out, this Viper, that you really had confidence in this unit, and that's the main thing I wanted. You didn't have any question. Hey, if you match it up with the pump that we say, you put it at about an 8-degree pitch, you dump material into it, you're going to guarantee that you're going to capture a large percentage, let's say 98% and above. That's where I wanted to be with this unit. I wanted people to have total confidence in a piece of prospecting equipment, and that's where we are with this unit. We've done enough testing on this to ensure that the prospector or miner, whoever it is, can run this unit and feel comfortable with it. Now, before we go out to this test, I'm going to warn you, I'm going to tell you that while we were doing these tests, just like in regular mining, if something can go wrong, it will go wrong. And in the middle of this test, we were running, you know, tens of thousands of pieces of gold through this thing, the intake clogs up. And we had to shut down and restart halfway through the test. And even with that, even with all these problems that we have, the riffle wasn't in the right place. We had all these different things that we were testing and moving and things that went wrong. I still was running close to 99% capture rate on this super fine flat gold. So I'm excited about it. The video I'll piece together in different segments. I'll take you through it. Like I said, I'm going to show you as a Highbanker. I'm going to show you as a dredge. It'll set up as a 2.5 inch if you want to convert it. We really don't sell the conversion pieces, but you can convert it into a 2.5 inch dredge. You can run it as a dredge and a Highbanker at the same time. Again, the unit's fairly portable. Total weight on it, I'm guessing, is maybe about 60 pounds with everything, the mat, the legs, everything in it, so it's not a huge piece of equipment. The pump is real reasonable that we match it up with. I think it's like $270 for the semi-trash pump that we match it up with, the Champion, and a really good pump. But I'll take you out to this video and hold on and we'll go through it. Okay guys, so here's the Viper. I'm going to show it to you. We're getting ready to do a test on it. But essentially what we've done is one thing our product line doesn't have is it doesn't have a traditional Highbanker, and that's why I came out with the Viper. It's more of a traditional size and performance type Highbanker, but with a lot of the features that we've put into our other products. I've sort of stolen things from other products. So it's all aluminum. Let me go over it real quickly with you. It's basically 100% aluminum except for the leg brackets. You have a 36-inch header box, which is about 12 inches wide. You have a 4-foot section here and a 4-foot section down below. Those are 48 inches, so you have about 8 feet. You do have, now this is almost identical. I would almost call this the Monster Hog's little brother, because that's really what we did, is we shrunk down the Monster Hog to where one person could set this up and run it. But it'll still run a lot of material. You're still talking probably 3 tons an hour, which is, 150 buckets an hour without touching the header box or without doing any classifying, and you'll see that here. So what you do is, it has a 2-inch hose. We nick this hose down to 1.5, and now we have the spray arms in here. There are no spray sections in here. Because it's necked down, we get enough pressure in here just to create this busting zone in here. We have the all aluminum grizzly, which can vibrate a little bit, which is really nice. We have UR mat with hog moss on top. We have the reverse ramp riffle with a dampener mat, just like the Monster Hog. This one, we actually were short one, so we had to cut down a Monster Hog real quick, riffle, and put it in here. But it is the reverse ramp riffle. Then it's going to go to river hog mat. Then we do a series of alternating scrubber, razorback, and bedrock mat. And we continue that down all the way through the sloughs. But you can see, I really love like these legs right here. They're all aluminum, they're custom bent, welded on feet. And it makes it really nice. Again, everything on this is custom made by us. The adjustable grizzly system down below, this can be loosened, and you can actually have it, you can adjust it back and forth, and you can make it actually rattle a little bit if you want. So that's the unit. And again, it's more of a compact size than the Monster Hog, but it's not like the Mini. The Mini is about 17 pounds. This whole unit, including the mat, legs, everything, I would guess somewhere around the 65-pound mark, somewhere in there. So it's not incredibly heavy, but that's the unit as it runs. Now, it does not come with this hose, I will tell you that. I like to use a dredge hose or a spa hose so I don't kink my lay flat, but it does not come with that. So that one section, you just connect your lay flat hose if you want there, but more than likely you're going to have some kinks, so I recommend you get a piece of spa hose. So you've got your unit, and it runs down to your hose, to your lay flat, and it goes over to your semi-trash pump. Now, I really recommend this Champion pump for as far as a Highbanker goes. This Champion pump, it's rated at 9,000 GPH, so we can run it, maybe at 20% or 30% of RPM, and it gives us plenty of water. If you're going to run this unit, you probably need to run that unit. You have to have a pump that's at least 6,000 GPH, but you're going to be running it probably at full speed. So this is that Champion pump. We have the intake over here. I always put a little screen on it, and it comes back up and connects here. So that's pretty much all the features on it. Of course, we've got the header box here, adjustable with the long aluminum legs, safety bracket here, because this does get heavy. We use double bracket system. We always put in a piece of 2x4 pressure treated. I just like to set it there in case that header box were to fall for some reason. But that's how we set up the unit. And all you do is you level it out. We'll be running at about a 7.5 degree pitch today. And what we're going to do is we're going to catch all the tailings on this test. And we're going to run everything through the Gold Cube. All right, so let's talk about the test that we're doing here, because this is where people get confused. And we're doing an extreme overload test. And when we do an extreme overload test, people kind of freak out because they see a lot of gold in our tailings. So if I put 100,000 pieces of gold in here and I have a 1% loss rate, how many pieces of gold should I see? So I should see a lot of gold in my tailings comparatively what people are used to. We're going to put close to 1/3 of an ounce, let's say over 10 grams of gold, through about just under half a ton of material. Now imagine that. So that's normal dirt that you run is $10 to $25 a yard if you're excavating and gold mining. This dirt is probably about $1,200 a yard. So it's an extreme test. The other thing that's important is the type of gold we're putting in here. We're putting in super fine gold. 80% of this gold is 100 mesh and below, and it's super flat. The other thing we do is we bring gold in from all over the world. I've got it from Canada, I've got it from British Columbia, Alberta, I've got it all different areas. I've got it from California, we've got it from the southeast, so we're using all kinds of gold. But a lot of this gold is that super fine flat stuff. It's extremely hard to catch. So we're going to do this setup, we're going to run it, we'll do the test. We always run it through the gold cube, the tailings. We check for losses, and we'll see where it goes from there. Okay, so before we start running on this thing, I want to show you what it looks like. So we've got our pump hooked up, coming in, goes into the header box, and we create this big boiling action in here, this scrubbing action in here, and then everything comes down. The large rocks will come off this end. Now everything comes into this chamber here, and it has to go over this reverse ramp ripple. Then it's going to hit river hog, and then it's going to go down the rest of the mat. So should be a pretty good test today. Again, we've got about half a ton of material, just under half a ton, and we've got a ton of gold in this. And the important thing to understand is how much clay is in this. I mean, this is just nasty, nasty, nasty clay. That's the majority of this stuff is just heavy clay. So we'll get running and we'll see what happens. You can see that it sort of pauses a little bit here. And this, you'll see rocks in this chamber in here, and they'll sit here and they'll hold. But it takes a while for it to break down, and then all the rocks will end up coming off here. But I want you to see that we're sending pretty good sized rocks through here. That's what the sluice looks like when it's running. And you'll see probably half-inch material run through here, and this is just nasty, nasty, thick pudding chocolate clay mud. So you can see, and the whole purpose of this is never to touch this header box. You want this material all scrubbed real heavy with a lot of energy, but at the same time, you don't want to have to reach in here and clear out rocks. That's the whole premise of this. You're coming down, they maintain their energy, and the rocks will run off. Now on this test, because of all the clay in here, I'm probably going to run some of this back through, let it sit there and break down, just because it's just almost pure clay material. This is excavated dirt. Again, we had a breakdown mid-run. The river is actually flooded today down here. We have a bunch of leaves and our pump completely plugged up. We just shut down mid-run on this. So this will be a good test. Hey, what the heck? Let's shut it down and let's see what we have loss-wise after we shut it down and start it back up. What the heck? All right, so we're still on this test run, but I do want to show you what we're talking about. Now, this is the stuff that we're running here. I mean, this is just nasty, nasty goo. So I'm rerunning some of this stuff at the end of the header box. There's going to be big clay balls that don't break up. And I like to take that stuff at the end of the header box and rerun it. Okay, this place is getting busy. So anyways, just to give you some sort of perspective of what we're doing here and the gold that we're running. Here are the cons, and I took one handful, and I want you to see what we're running here. But it's just super, super, super fine stuff. I had to put jet dry in here because it's wanting to get away. But I think you can see. Let me get in the shade a bit. All right. But now I think you can see what I'm talking about. You can see the gold that we're running through here, and the majority of this stuff is below 50. Bulk of it is 100, and there's 150s and 200s in here, easy. But you can see, perspective-wise, this is one handful. This is one handful of the gold. It's just a huge amount of gold we're running through this thing. Okay, so I figured I'd show you. This is about, maybe half the gold here. But if I bring it down, you'll see that this is just super fine stuff. It's almost all 100s. Some 50s maybe, 200s and 100s. But that's about maybe half the gold we ran through. As it was about 1/3 of an ounce, and there's a lot of gold in here. So it's going to be real noisy down here, so I'm going to be in your face for a minute because someone's actually got a Gold Hog down here dredging. But I want to show you the Viper set up as a dredge. So what we've got is we've got a high pressure pump over here to a 2.5-inch hose, and then here's the actual Viper running as a dredge. And you can see what we did is I took a normal. Let me explain it from back here. I took a normal adapter, and what I've done is I've taken another piece of hose and zip tied it inside the header box. And that puts the water back at the box and allows it to come through, and all your rocks come out here. So look at the action here. All you do is you take off that white piece, you install your adapter, zip tie it here, and it shoots all the water back here, and then all the water runs through here, classifies off the big stuff, and now the only thing that's running through this sluice is 1/2-inch minus. So that's how we've converted this into a 2.5-inch dredge, and that's the perfect amount for this unit, 2.5-inch. No less, no more, if that's what you want. You can see Chris is over here. I got him dredging. He's got a nozzle over here, power nozzle over here. Obviously, pressure hose goes to the pump. It's got an intake. I got a screen on my intake. Again, I got a high pressure pump. The semi-trash won't power this as a dredge. And I like to put it on a stand over here. So anyways, Chris has been down here for about 30 minutes. We got the 5-inch set down here, but I want to show you, I mean, he's got a heck of a hole there. How far down are you?
2.5 foot.
That's pretty good. You can see the tailings pile here. Got a couple minor clogs that are just knocked out of the line, which is normal. Especially we're not running any kind of, bolt across the nozzle or anything like that. But the water comes in here and it shoots in here. Everything settles back down and it comes across the header box here. And again, because it's sliding this way, you almost never have rocks hang up in here. Once in a while you'll have a little one here or something, but they jiggle loose. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have Tony, so you can see, Tony's going to dump some excavated soil in here. So he's actually going to run
this thing, while Chris is actually dredging, he's actually running dirt through this too. So you got the dredge hose feeding it, breaking it up, and it's a real good system. Now 2 people can work this. One person can sit here and feed this thing. The other person can sit here dredging. He's dredging with a 2.5, and the other guy's running dirt. See, I mean, we got a lot of water. That thing's really cranking water through here. You can see what's coming out here on this end, the larger rocks. But again, he's feeding dirt, he's dredging. He's feeding dirt, he's dredging. Yeehaw! Give me the gold, baby. That's a real good water flow now. I like it. It needed more water there. Now I'm getting good water speed. I'm seeing everything active in here. Whew. Hey guys, so Chris was down here running the Viper as a 2.5-inch dredge, about a 45-minute run maybe, somewhere around there. And he never hit hard pack. He just actually was just in a gravel bar. It was real loose, didn't hit any good material, but he did fine. I want you to see. This is that's a 45-minute run. That's not bad at all. And there's a real pretty, look at that nugget. Now that's a pretty nugget for Georgia. It's kind of round and smooth, but really, I mean, you can see the fines in there. I mean, that's some nice looking gold. For a 45-minute run just sitting on a gravel bar, that's pretty good. I'll take that all day long. For a 45-minute run, just running the 2.5-inch, again, he said he never hit hard pack. It just was kind of loose gravel just sitting there, so I'm real happy with that. That's a good sign.